I know I was going to talk about Hamburg, but I feel it's a very, very important point, and I really wanted to thank Anonymous for, when you stand up like that, that's the right thing to do. People don't agree with abuse. People don't agree with violence. People don't agree with stopping you from communicating. You know, it's a freedom. So that you're standing up for that and you're there no matter what they throw at you and call you terrorists and all sorts of crap. You know, that is an awesome thing, and it helps that that there's a lot of people now coming forward. I've been told by so many people that because no matter what the consequences would be, I was willing to stand up and speak out. They were also then willing to do that too, because I survived any thrashings. They had private investigators follow me. They had, you know, they tried to get my my husband's mother and father to kick me out of the family, because then maybe my husband's brother and sister could then salvage my husband Matt to stay in Scientology. Just crazy stuff. Anyway, I'm just going to tell you one thing, then I'm going to go on to Hamburg, which is, like Bruce was saying, part of mind control is information control. And how that happens is, if you don't have all the information, how do you make a decision about something? How do you rationalize something? How can you go, okay, I'm going to support that, or I'm not going to support that? You don't have all the information. You're just told that it's fluffy and beautiful and this and that, and you don't know that as soon as you take a bite, you're going to die. So if you don't have all the information, you can't make a rational decision. So it's very important that that people are informed, and so getting the information out on any channel that you can is really, really vital. It is how 3 top, you know, of Scientology's celebrities have left. Paul Haggis, he left because he got informed and made the decision he was no longer going to support that. Jason Begay, Larry Anderson, it's because they had the information. So once you no longer have control over somebody achieving the information, because Scientology doesn't let you read the internet, you get in trouble. You can't read magazines, watch TV, and all this kind of stuff if you're a staff member at all. So that's a key point, and that's why it's really important to just keep the information going. Let's see, I'm going to find my little Hamburg notes here. I also want to tell you, I'll just tell you this. I was going to save it for them, but I'm going to tell you right now because I got all worked up about the family situation on the information control. Okay, so there's a 7-man mission that just fired into Seattle organization to man them up to be an ideal organization. And my stepfather was pulled in to join staff. Hard red, you know, like really told he needs to sign up and start, and he was considering it. My mom panicked and called me. I paid a surprise visit. I gave him the information that he's been prevented from having. He has walked away from Scientology, and this happened just last week. My family is now back together. So Scientology is probably going to find out because the videos on this or whatever, and I don't care. So we obviously had a very big celebration for getting the family back together. This is 5 years of torture. Okay, so that is now handled. We're still working on my husband's side of the family, and also helping as many people as we can who reach out asking for help to get their families back together too. All right, Hamburg, you guys are interested in that. In 1995, what happened was Hamburg Org was considered one of the biggest, most prosperous, expanding Scientology organizations in the world. The statistics were up the wall, across the ceiling. They were just awesome. It was, you know, it was inspected by David Miscavige and given a RTC pass on its standard of excellence. In 1995, Vipka Hansen, who was the ED, came to the Flag Land Base for a big presentation for an award for being the most expanding, yet again, the most expanding organization for the year. it came up because she had it came up that she had been false reporting her statistics, making them up. They were nowhere near what she had been reporting. Now, needless to say, this was a big flap. Is that a word? Flap? Okay, it was a big flap. And Vibka was given the choice by David Miscavige to either get expelled from Scientology or to join the Sea organization and go directly to the RPF. And she went to the RPF. I know that she didn't inform her family. I don't even think she got to get all her things from Germany or anything like that. She went straight to the Happy Valley Rehabilitation Project Force. That's where Bruce twinned up with her, and she was on the RPF there. She was on the RPF for like 4 years, I think, right? She went to the RPF for 4 years for that. Miscavige, and now what she's doing is, or at least the last I knew, is she was a sets and props painter, you know, where you just paint backdrops for cinematography. Okay, so David Miscavige now had a problem because the statistics were announced. She was given her award. Hamburg is supposedly also wonderful. He gave his RTC pass of a standard of excellence, and it's dog shit. So he sent Mark Yeager. Mark Yeager was the WDC chairman and commanding officer of the organization, CMO International. He told Mark he's going to Hamburg to take over as the executive director. He laughed at the idea that he looks like a Jew and that he's sending him into the middle of Germany. He assigned 4 other executives from international management to go with Mark and to go make the existing statistics into what those false reported statistics were, and that was his mission. Go make those stats real. Of course, so they just went and just raised hell there and, you know, trying to get people. Like, one of the people that were fired was Tom Woodruff, who was a finance director at the time. He was taken and sent to Hamburg. This is how big of a situation. Take the WC chairman, the finance director, Kurt Wieland, who was in OSA, and a PR, public relations person, Fred Harris, and sent him out as like the top dogs to take over one Scientology organization. That's how big of a deal he thought that was. Then he also wrote, a few years after that, a plan and a program of steps of actions to take for Hamburg, which was to get them a new building and get them with a command team, proper executives, because, you know, Yeager had to come back and whatever. And so what happened was he wrote a project that said, work out a project, fire a project that's to go and look for buildings within Hamburg, all over, and that is to be a decoy mission. And they're not to know this. The missionaries didn't know anything about it. They thought they were actually looking for a building for Hamburg, and they submitted like 4 buildings. They were out for 8 months. We were rejecting everything that they submitted because we were trying to make the government in Hamburg think that, and stop any submission that they were trying to do and building they were trying to find. Meantime, we had an undercover, real mission, get the building that they have right now. That was very confidential at the time. We had to sign for the programs and attest and turn it back in every time we, you know, like this kind of thing. Totally confidential strategy in order to covertly get the building that they have right now so that they wouldn't be stopped. OSA was running that end of it, and I was getting another team of executives fully trained and then fired out there. But that's another thing that was done in the Hamburg area. Let's see. I just want to see if there's anything I didn't cover. I think the main thing that you know, I just want to end with is, because I could tell you a zillion stories, but, and I will certainly be around to answer questions. I would love to answer any questions that you do have. But just in general, I just want to reiterate that people can make a proper decision and leave Scientology if they have the information. So it's important to just keep putting it out there and spreading the news, okay? Thank you very much for having me.